1917 and 2020. Over a century, 2 disasters, 1 lesson. What if a city was erased not by war, but by a single mistake? A mistake. This is not a simulation of a weapon. This is the power of an industrial accident. 2 steel giants meet. A confrontation with no purpose, yet it would decide the fate of tens of thousands. And the biggest question remains, how could an accident carry the destructive power of an entire era? Let's decode it together.
Dawn, December 6, 1917. Halifax, Canada, a bustling Atlantic.
And this is Destiny's Messenger, the SS Mont Blanc, a French cargo ship on a voyage to Europe. But inside its hull was no ordinary cargo. It was a floating arsenal.
2,300 tons of wet and dry picric acid, a powerful high explosive, more sensitive than TNT.
Added to that, 250 tons of TNT, enough to level multiple city blocks.
And on deck, 35 tons of benzene, an extremely flammable liquid, acting as the perfect fuse. By regulation, it was too dangerous to enter the port at night. It had to wait until morning. The time bomb pauses.
Meanwhile, from inside the harbor another ship was eager to leave. The SS Emo, a Belgian relief vessel, was sailing in the wrong channel.
2 ships, one entering, one leaving, on an unavoidable collision course.
The captains of both ships were confused by the other's actions. A chain of wrong decisions began.
A series of misunderstood whistle signals.
8:45 a.m. The faith meeting. Metal cuts metal.
The collision didn't cause the explosion, but it created something worse. Sparks. The benzene ignited instantly. The ship was now a giant torch. The crew knew what was about to happen. They abandoned ship, shouting warnings in French that no one understood.
The floating bomb was now adrift, heading straight for the city center.
To the citizens, it was a spectacle. A ship fire in the harbor. They didn't know they were looking directly at death. The brave firefighters of Halifax arrived. They were the first on the scene, and the first to face the fury.
The ship had reached its final berth. The flames had now reached the bulkheads of the main cargo hold.
Below, the temperature was reaching the critical point. 2,900 tons of high explosives.
They did everything they could, completely unaware of the true nature of the enemy they were facing.
A theater of destruction, and the audience had no idea they were part of the play. In a fraction of a millisecond, an unstoppable chain reaction began.
At 9:04 and 35 seconds a.m., time in Halifax fractured. There was only before and after. A flash of pure, silent, white energy.
Matter is liberated.
It creates something more fearsome than fire. A tsunami of air, moving faster than sound. The city of Halifax, in that moment, was crushed. Glass shattered tens of kilometers from the blast, a reminder of the true scale of the energy. The explosion didn't just attack with air. It summoned the ocean. A giant tsunami was born. In the sky, a signature of destruction formed. A mushroom cloud, signaling a new...
The ship's fragments became projectiles. This anchor was found nearly 4 kilometers away.
This is what was left. A devastated land, a wounded
community, and a lesson written in fire.
Over 2.5 square kilometers of a developed city were wiped out in an instant.
The human cost was immeasurable. Thousands of lives were changed forever.
Its power was comparable to a small volcanic eruption, a force of nature unleashed by human hands. From the ashes, a change came. Halifax forced the world to rewrite the rules of industrial and maritime safety.
The rules we take for granted today, all born from this tragedy.
The world, it seemed, had learned its lesson. But history has a terrifying habit of repeating itself.
103 years later, another city, another seaport, the same story, waiting to be told. Welcome to Beirut, 2020. And this is the modern version of the SS Mont Blanc. Another time bomb.
Not on a moving ship, but forgotten in the heart of a city of 2 million people. Its story began with bureaucratic indifference, a seized asset left behind, slowly becoming a menace. For years, warnings were issued. Experts spoke up, but their cries for help were lost in silence. And then, another spark. A small, unforeseen action, about to have a colossal consequence. The fire found a way in. It began to approach the dormant chemicals.
Once again, citizens were drawn to the spectacle. A fire at the port. Some thought it was fireworks. But it wasn't fireworks. It was the prelude to a symphony of destruction.
History was ready to repeat itself, with terrifying precision.
The second true explosion.
And once again, physics displays its destructive beauty. A perfect signature for an unimaginable tragedy.
The shockwave spread, not through brick houses, but through the glass and steel of a modern metropolis. Where a warehouse once stood, now lies a scar on the earth, an artificial lake born of violence. The blast was so powerful it was registered as an earthquake in neighboring countries. The earth had shaken. The consequences were once again beyond imagination. A city pushed to the brink of collapse.
2 scars, a century apart. Undeniable proof of a lesson forgotten.
Though slightly smaller, its impact in a modern world was just as devastating.
The world was once again shocked. But does shock lead to real action?
Or is it just another ripple in the ocean of news, soon to be forgotten until the next tragedy occurs? After Halifax, the world wrote new safety rules. After Beirut, we realized these are not 2 separate stories. This is the same story, retold for a new generation. Their echoes resonate in every industrial zone in the world, where similar dangers lie dormant. These disasters shaped the modern world, creating buffer zones, procedures, the invisible walls that protect us. But those walls are only as strong as our memory of why they were built.
The story of destructive explosions is not just a story of chemistry and physics.
It's the story of human responsibility in a high-tech world.
About the fragile difference between procedure on paper and action in reality.
It proves that in our complex systems, a single weak link can cause a total collapse.
And sometimes, the most dangerous weapon of mass destruction is simple indifference. Today, we have the technology to prevent these disasters. Sensors can detect chemical leaks at the molecular level. Automated suppression systems can extinguish a threat before it becomes an inferno.
Surveillance drones provide a comprehensive overview, detecting abnormal hotspots invisible to the naked eye.
Artificial intelligence can analyze terabytes of data to predict weaknesses in our safety systems. All of these tools exist, but they are useless without the most critical element: the human will. The commitment to follow the rules, not from fear of penalty, but from a true understanding of the consequences.
Every industrial disaster is not a single event, but a chain of failures. Preventing just one link is enough.
The legacy of Halifax and Beirut lives in the regulations of these organizations, the silent guardians of our world.
But real safety isn't found in offices in Geneva or Washington. It's in the hands of each individual.
The power to create destruction and the power to prevent it both lie in our hands. Two cities, two eras, two scars on the planet. They are permanent reminders.
As our world grows more complex, so do the potential dangers.
What happened with common chemicals in Halifax and Beirut is imaginable with far more dangerous materials.
History is not something to be read. It is something to be learned from.
And current events are not to be forgotten. They are tests.
The next story might not start with picric acid or ammonium nitrate.
It could start with a gas leak, a software bug, a budget cut for maintenance. But the root cause will always be the same: a broken link in the chain of responsibility. The ultimate weapon against disaster is not technology, but vigilance. Our collective memory. The ability to learn from the past, to protect the future. The cities were rebuilt, the communities healed, but the scars remain, hidden beneath the surface. Every day, thousands of potential Halifax explosions are prevented by those who follow the rules.
Every day, potential disasters are neutralized by meticulousness and professionalism.
The story of destructive explosions, in the end, is also the story of resilience and the power of prevention.
Where is the next sentence being written? And what can we do to change its ending? Share your thoughts.